The Nepal Gen Z Movement 2025 represents a critical shift in the country's political landscape, emerging not merely as a reaction to the government's decision to restrict social media but as a broader generational challenge to systemic corruption. At its core, the movement is fueled by frustration over entrenched governance failures that have limited opportunities for economic mobility, transparency, and meaningful participation. For Gen Z, who came of age after the democratic promises of the 2006 People's Movement and the 2015 Constitution, corruption is seen not as a peripheral issue but as the principal barrier to Nepal's progress. Their worldview, shaped by global exposure through digital platforms, has heightened the contrast between what governance could deliver and what it actually does in Nepal. This comparative awareness strengthens their resolve to reject corruption as unacceptable and reformable. The government's restriction of social media acted as a catalyst rather than the root cause of the movement. For young Nepalis, social media platforms are integral spaces for discourse, organizing, and amplifying dissent. The decision to curtail these platforms was therefore interpreted as an attack on civic freedoms and an attempt to silence accountability demands. While the ban itself is not the central grievance, it provided a unifying symbol of state overreach, transforming diffuse frustration into immediate mobilization. In this sense, the ban crystallized long-standing anger over corruption and governance failures, galvanizing collective action across diverse groups of young people. Analytically, the Gen Z movement departs from the traditional protest culture in Nepal, which has historically been party-driven and hierarchical. Instead, it is decentralized, issue-based, and digitally coordinated, signaling a new mode of political engagement less tied to patronage systems. This independence not only boosts its credibility but also complicates the ability of political elites to co-opt or suppress it. Moreover, by linking anti-corruption demands with digital freedoms, the movement reframes democracy for the 21st century, making clear that democratic rights are inseparable from online spaces where political consciousness and organization now thrive. The implications are profound. The movement elevates corruption as a central political issue rather than a secondary concern, challenges the monopoly of political parties over civic mobilization, and broadens the definition of democratic rights. Whether the protests translate into structural reforms will depend on their sustainability, leadership, and strategic vision. Nonetheless, the Nepal Gen Z Movement 2025 marks a generational turning point. Young people are no longer content with symbolic promises, they are asserting themselves as an independent political force demanding accountability and systemic change.